A full moon is always a moment of illumination, of seeing reality as it is, of completion, a phase that has been completed in your life. But a full moon in Scorpio is even more deep and has a lot of emotional truth in it. On May 1st, we're going to have a full moon in Scorpio at 11 degrees. 11 degrees is a very critical degree. It's 1111 if you have been seeing 1111 anywhere, or if number 11 means something for you, this full moon will speak to you in a different way. A full moon in Scorpio energy is about depth, control, it's about emotional trigger. It's about vulnerability. It's about power dynamics in relationships. It's also about what's hidden beneath the surface. So there might be some truth that's coming up. You might see something that you didn't want to see before or was hidden from you, a truth that has always been there, but you were not aware of. When the full moon is here, we tend to feel emotionally triggered. Usually all full moons emotionally triggers us. But this specific full moon is about being more sensitive than usual because it's in Scorpio and Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpio is a depth. It's about control. So also a full moon is a reality that you cannot ignore anymore, a phase that's being closed. But this is not random. It's actually happening for a reason. It wants to tell you something you have been holding on, something you have been not ready to face, or you were burying it deep inside you because it's like let us put this off for a little while. Let's postpone this. I don't want to face this now. But this full moon is asking you to be honest. So why is this specific full moon in Scorpio is about honesty? It's about something that has been draining you. It's about something that you were holding on to. You don't want to let it go. It's about something that kept showing up in your life out of habit, out of fear. And it's also about what you have been trying to control instead of feeling. So you might notice some conversations are coming more deeper, more direct. You're saying stuff that you were not expecting yourself to say. You're seeing someone clearly. You didn't want to see this person in this shape before without any filters anymore. The reality is just showing up to your face. You're realizing something cannot continue to be what it is anymore. Some change is coming up. And here's why. Scorpio doesn't really realize something in a light way. Scorpio is a deep sign. When it hits, especially 11 degree, it hits this 11 degree with complete transparency. It releases what have become so heavy for you that you can no longer carry, you can no longer control, you can no longer ignore, and you can no longer continue how it used to be in the habit or out of familiarity. So where is this full moon is showing up in our life now? Whatever stage in your life you are going through right now, family dynamics, so especially with adult children, long-term relationships, that the unspoken becomes so visible. You have to say what you have to say now. Emotional burnout, if you're realizing that you have been carrying too much in your life and you cannot go on continuing the same way you have been. Boundaries, so recognizing where you have extended yourself, overextended yourself, and you're not getting back what you're giving. This is where emotional truth comes up. This is where reality meets decision, that now you have to make a decision out of full awareness of something that you didn't want to see or was hidden from you. So this full moon is not just intense because it's only in Scorpio. It's intense because of who is in charge of it, meaning the planets. So you've got Mars and you've got Pluto, very two intense planets. They are the rulers of this full moon. So Mars is the action, is the drive, is your vitality. It's how you are driven emotionally, physically. It's the energy that drives you every day. And Pluto which is the power, the transformation, the truth, the hidden truth. It's the reality of your life, the phases in your life that you have to go through and transform through those phases. So when these two energies are together in a full moon in Scorpio at 11 degrees, oh my goodness, this is a lot. It's a lot to break down. Let's break down the two rulers of this new moon. So let's talk about Mars first. Mars right now is in Aries. It's part of the party that has been going in Aries sign. It's home in Aries. So when Mars is home, it's like it acts, it does whatever it want to do, and it's unfiltered. It's immediate. It's like, I want to get this done and I want to get it done now. And it's pure, it's raw. It's like a childish energy. There is no hesitation. It's like, I want to get this done. I want to have this and I'm going to go get it. That's exactly the energy there. I need to do something now. I cannot hold this anymore. I have to say that. I have to do that. Acting first, processing later. And this is the dangers of having Mars in this full moon. So we have to be careful of our actions, what decisions we're making, and the route we are taking. And whatever we gonna do now, we cannot change later. So we really need to be aware of our decisions. Now, emotionally, that creates quick reactions. It creates low tolerance, anger, frustration. It also creates an urge to reclaim your power and independence. So you need to be aware of this energy. Now, you need to move slowly. You need to be careful because accidents can happen during this full moon. They usually say that the emergency rooms are full during full moons. This one especially, it's going to be very intense, so we need to be careful. So we have to be careful with our moves. Now, reactions also is another area that we need to be aware of. So we need to be careful of our reactions. We need to slow down. We don't need to clash with others. If you can, try to avoid conflicts. You're extending your energy where you don't need to. Just be aware of the energy and how it can escalate things. You're going to feel less tolerant during this time. So be aware that this dynamics does not drain you physically, and does not drain your energy. This is not an easy energy for sure. And Mars in Aries doesn't wait. So, do everything with caution. And, the challenges might come. How do you react? You might not even think before reacting. So try to pause, try to understand, what are you feeling first? What do you need to do? Should I just, take make this decision and take this action, or just wait and decide when I calm down? Because the urge is decide and act quickly. So we need to be careful with that. Clarity comes first. So when you allow awareness to catch up with what's happening, it helps you to make the right decisions at the right time. Now, if you talk about the other driver or the other ruler of this full moon, it's Pluto. And Pluto is no jokes. Pluto is very transformative. It's a very intense, it's a very powerful planet. And right now it's in Aquarius, and Pluto in Aquarius has changed a lot since it moved in 2024 in our lives. We can see that there are some areas in our life, depending on where is Aquarius in your chart, Pluto has transformed you in a different way. So together, Mars and Pluto are really intense. And we're going to talk about the transits that both these planets are making right now. We'll start with Mars. So Mars is squaring Jupiter. Emotion meets urgency when Mars meets Jupiter in a square. This is where it builds up. So the square between them creates tension. And the square in astrology is a friction. It's a conflict. It pushes, it stretches. It amplifies things, especially when you have Mars, which is an amplifier by itself. So what happens here? Mars wants immediate action. And Jupiter amplifies because everything Jupiter touches makes it look bigger. So if you're angry, it's going to look you're angry 10 times more. If you're frustrated, your frustration would feel like, oh, I cannot, like it's too much for you. So it could feel like you're overreacting. You are emotionally feeling that you're triggered. The emotions are intense. You feel it's bigger than what it actually is. You act quickly because you feel that something is urgent and something looks bigger than its actual meaning or its actual reality. So this is where we need to be careful about our estimation of the situation that we might face at that time. Conversations can get really escalated and you could feel like this is too much. I have to say what I have to say, but you might regret saying anything at that point later on. You want to make decisions because you feel the heat of the emotions, so you need to be careful of your actions. And I keep repeating this because during this full moon, the energy is really intense. The key challenges here is Mars and Jupiter is not a calming energy together when they are in square. You want to speak, you want to act, you want to respond immediately, and it's not the first reaction that is the right one. So if you can hold yourself back, try to practice the 10 seconds, just count to 10 before you say or do something, and be mindful of every single move you make. So this is where not everything should feel urgent. It meant to be, it's clearly showing for you for a reason, but you don't really need to have an immediate action right away. Okay, now let's talk about Pluto in Aquarius. So the Pluto in Aquarius is, it's the long-term transformation around identity, relationships. How are you managing relationships with other people and groups? Aquarius is a group sign. The social roles that you are playing right now, how has that changed after 2024? The version of yourself the other people are expecting, and you're no longer want to play that version anymore. But Pluto is actually treating us better than Mars because Pluto is having harmonious aspects with the other planets. It's having a sextile with Neptune in Aries. And this sextile is actually helping you in a way that is dissolving the illusion. It's making the truth becoming more clear. So it's powerful because Neptune represents illusion, ideals. It represents your fantasy. It represents what you want to believe. But Pluto comes in with a sextile harmonious aspect, and it shows you the truth. It shows you what's actually real. And this is the reason why we've been saying during this full moon, the clarity will be even, the truth will come more clear to you. So together, Pluto and Neptune, you can see clearly. And you might realize that you've been holding on to something in your life because you wanted it to work. This isn't about being aligned of who you used to be. It's about being aligned of who you are becoming. It's also, I cannot keep pretending that this is right. This is the clear energy that might show up during this full moon. So long-term relationships, family roles, identities that have been built over expectations, over decades. These identities are now becoming clear that you can no longer continue performing those identities where your truth is not aligned. Okay, the other thing that we want to talk about is the actual transits of this full moon and who is going to feel this full moon. So let's talk about that first. If you have any degrees in your natal chart between 8 degrees and 14 degrees, you are going to be feeling this full moon intensely, especially if it's in Scorpio, or if it's in Taurus, or if it's in Leo or Aquarius, because this is the opposition and the squares. You can also feel it intense in a good way if there's a trine or sextile. So if you have any planets in Virgo, if you have any planets in Pisces, if you have any planets in Capricorn or Cancer, you're still gonna feel this full moon in a less intense, but it's gonna reveal a lot for you in your life. Now, the full moon itself is having an opposition because the full moon is like we're having the moon opposite the sun. So the moon in Scorpio is opposite the sun in Taurus, and they're both at 11 degrees. And this creates a tension between Scorpio, which is your emotional truth, your transformation, your release, the depth, the control, and between Taurus, which is your need for stability, your need for comfort. It feels like I want to stay where I am right now, where it feels safe, but I know something is changing and I have to change as well. So I'm going to go through each rising sign and tell you exactly which area in your life will be impacted during this full moon. Listen to the rising sign, but if you want to listen to your sun or moon sign, you can do as well from an intuitive perspective, because the rising sign will tell you exactly which area will be impacted. For Aries Rising, it's going to take place in your 8th house, and this is really intense. Having the full moon in Scorpio and having this full moon in the 8th house is like double intense. It's emotional depth, it's shared resources, it's your investment, it's your power, it's how you are mingling with others and how this mingling is translating into monetary or actual resources. So this is one of the most intense placements during this full moon. Something deep is being revealed to you, something about emotional patterns in relationships, how you have been carrying yourself with or in interaction with others, the financial or energetic entanglement that you have been in now is coming clear to you where you need to let go and where you need to change, where control has replaced vulnerability. So this is very important during this full moon. You could feel triggered, you could feel exposed, you could feel emotionally raw. And the deeper layer is that you're being asked to release control and face the reality that's being shown to you during this full moon. Power dynamics in relationships, resentment that have been built up that has not been expressed might come up during this full moon. Emotional or financial dependencies. These are very important areas that could come up and make you realize that, oh my goodness, I need to change that. I need to be able to face this. And how am I going to deal with this entanglements that I have been in? So this is about truth that cannot be hidden anymore. It is not a surface harmony. It's a really intense placement. So I wish you all the best during this full moon. Be aware of the truth that's coming up and be aware of the decisions and actions that you are taking. And I wish you all the best. For Taurus Rising, it's happening in your seventh house. And the seventh house is the house of relationships, one-on-one relationships. This full moon is shining directly on your relationships. You're seeing someone very clearly during this full moon. And it might be for the first time, or it might be that you have seen that before, but you didn't really want to face it yet. So you could recognize where imbalance have been, where they need to be honest with the other. And the deep layer here is that you can no longer maintain those relationships by keeping the peace. Something has to change. So if you are in the stage in your life where long-term dynamics have shifted recently or is shifting, you could recognize that conversations that you have avoided for so long are now very essential to have and face. You could also realize that you need to truly face the point where you need others and where others need you. So it's not about real connection as a seventh house dynamics. It's more about what are the uncomfortable patterns that I need to face and what needs to change. So all the best, Taurus Rising, and I wish you a very happy and comfortable full moon in Scorpio. For Gemini Rising, it's happening in your sixth house. And your sixth house is the house of daily habits. It's the house of your health. It also could be the house of pets if you have a pet. It's the house of your emotional load, meaning that sixth house relates to Virgo, and Virgo, it's about emotional loading. It's about how are you dealing with patterns daily that triggers you emotionally. So what do you carry every day? You might realize that you could be overloaded with your current work dynamics. You could be having routines that are draining you. The people that you are meeting on a daily basis, you could be working with them, or you could have an interaction with them on a daily basis. What kind of dynamics are you having with those people, and how is it impacting you and impacting your health? You've been ignoring your own needs. If that's the case, then you need to face this during this full moon and try to put some functionality in place, meaning you're not necessarily changing the whole daily routine, but you are shifting to something that really works for you. So emotional burnout could come up, doing too much for others, you're realizing you're extending yourself, you're not receiving the same as you're giving. You could also see where you have been if you were neglecting your well-being. And this is the reality that would come during this full moon. So if you look at it, it's a moment where you will need to let go what is no longer sustainable for you on a daily basis. If anything out of routine or habits that have been draining you, impacting your health, this is the truth that's going to come up during this full moon in Scorpio, and it will make you realize that you need to shift something and change some patterns in your life. So happy full moon in Scorpio, Gemini, and all the best for you. For Cancer Rising, it's happening in your fifth house. And the fifth house is a really nice and joyful house. It's the house of joy. It's the house of romance. It's the house of kids. It's the house of creativity. It's the house of self-expression. And when you have a full moon in Scorpio in the fifth house, this is the emotional truth that is relating to your heart that's coming up. You might feel something deep inside your heart. You might feel deeply in love or deeply need to create something and express yourself in a different way. You could realize where you have been holding yourself back, and the need to express yourself is more pressing during this full moon. You could be asked during this full moon to feel your heart fully. Where are you in your stage? Which stage are you in your life right now? Are you reclaiming joy that you haven't been feeling that much joy lately, and you really need to feel, your heart needs to feel the joy? You could let yourself be seen emotionally, expressing yourself in an emotional way that you haven't been doing recently. You could also release fear about expression. So you could feel that I can put myself out, express myself because I need to. Just be careful of what you say, because this is the fifth house and it's about expression, and you could say something that later on you would say, oh, I wish I didn't say that. So move with caution and express yourself the way it feels truth for you. And all the best for you, Cancer Rising, and I wish you all the best in the Scorpio full moon. For Leo Rising, it's happening in your fourth house, and it's an angular house. It's a very dynamic house. It's house of home and family, emotional foundation, the past. It's the environment that you live in, the house that you live in, the people that you consider as family. And when we have a full moon in Scorpio in your fourth house, this goes deeply. Something about your family and home dynamics is clearly becoming very clear for you. You could feel emotionally about the past. You could recognize long-standing patterns in family and home that's not serving you anymore, that you need to let go. So you might need to shift something in your environment, immediate environment, at home, in family dynamics. It's the sense of emotional safety that is evolving for you right now. Family roles feels changing. You could feel that people in your family are dynamics are changing. Your adult kids might be leaving your home, or you might feel that it's summertime. You could send your kids, if they are old enough, to camps, and this would leave your home a little bit empty during this time. You could feel that some family members could be moving in with you. Family members could be moving out. You could be moving out or changing where you live. Or you could feel that this is the time that I have to start planning around changing the environment that I live in. So boundaries within homes could be changing as well. You could be putting some new rules at home and boundaries that you have been ignoring for a long time, and now it's the time to make yourself clear that this is your needs and this is what is expected from other people. You could also let go of some emotional responsibilities that have been holding you back, burdening you, keeping you in place, and not allowing you to express yourself truly. So happy full moon in Scorpio, Leo Rising, and I wish you all the best. For Virgo Rising, it's happening in your third house, and your third house is the house of communication. It's the house of siblings. It's the house of the conversations that you need to have during this full moon. It's also the house of your immediate environment, meaning your neighborhood or people that you consider as, immediate, not really family, but immediate interactions, such as cousins, nieces, extended family. So the truth is coming up in communication during this full moon in Scorpio. You could have conversations that can shift everything for you. You could say something that you have been holding back on, and you could hear something that changes how you see the current dynamics in your life and how you change your perspective as well. The deeper layer here is that your words carry emotional truth right now. And if you are speaking honestly with others, your family, your partners, and you're releasing the fears of difficult conversations, you might not want it to have those conversations before, but you will feel that there's a lot of pressure right now to say what you need to say. Letting go of overthinking or something that have been holding you back, expressing what you feel. Conversations and words are coming up, and they're coming up intense during this full moon. So be careful of your words, but speak your truth in a sense that allows you to express yourself fully during this full moon in Scorpio. So happy full moon in Scorpio, Virgo Rising, and I wish you all the best. For Libra Rising, it's happening in your second house, and the second house is the house of self-worth. It's the house of your own personal resources. It's the house of your finances, your income. It's the house of your values. So what do you value? So you might feel emotionally tied to your money, your income, your safety, your security, and you're realizing where you have been undervaluing yourself, questioning where you are willing to accept what is the price tag right now and what you are willing to raise the price tag and say, no, I feel that my value is way more than that, and I need to ask for this additional income, or I need to make this additional money, or I need to save this much to be able to feel safe and security. So self-worth right now is a non-negotiable anymore. You're seeing yourself clearly, you're seeing your self-worth, you're seeing where the areas in your life where you are making money and this money makes you stable, and what changes you need to have in these areas. So you are reevaluating your financial situation or your emotional exchange. How are you exchanging financial dynamics at this point? And what does that mean for you, for your self-worth? You're letting go of scarcity, because you could have been thinking scarcity, thinking, I don't have much, I don't have this, I need to make that. So this is fear that you could be letting go during this full moon in Scorpio. You're also choosing yourself more consciously right now. So this is very important during this full moon for you, because, you tend to overextend yourself. You want to keep the peace. You want to make sure that everything is balanced and everybody is happy. But at this point in this full moon, you might feel, I need to choose myself first, and I need to choose myself consciously. So all the best, Libra Rising, and I wish you a very happy full moon in Scorpio. For Scorpio Rising, so you are the king during this full moon, and it's happening in your first house. And this house is the house of identity, is the house of self, is the house of how are you showing up? How are people perceiving you? How are you making yourself present and available? So in this full moon, you're seeing yourself differently, and it's very powerful. You may feel emotionally exposed. You might feel that recognizing how much you have changed, how much you have realized things that you may have not been realizing before. Your personality have changed, but this is a moment of realization, that you actually realize the changes that you have been through. You want to release an old version of you, and you say, I no longer connect to this old version of me, and now I'm becoming a new person, and there's a reason why the changes have taken place in my life. So there's a deeper layer. There's a kind of personal reset during this full moon. And you are letting go of identities that are tied to the past, that no longer work for you or serve you or represent who you are becoming now. You're choosing your authenticity over expectations. So you are choosing who you really want to be, who you really want to show up, and who you want to be perceived and seen. You're stepping into a more honest version of yourself. So this is a really strong dynamic time for you. And you really need to focus on yourself, and you need to be very honest with yourself. Whatever version that didn't work for you, find the reasons why and shift to the new identity. Or you are shifting already, but you're going to realize it during this full moon. This is the moment of truth for you during this full moon of Scorpio. So I wish you a very happy full moon in Scorpio, and all the best, Scorpio Rising. For Sagittarius Rising, it's happening in your 12th house. And the 12th house is the house of subconscious. It's the house of the hidden areas in your life. It's the house of also the emotional release. And because we're having a full moon in Scorpio, there could be a lot of emotional release happening for you. It's very deep for you, and you could feel emotionally triggered, but you might not know why you're being emotionally triggered. You could be releasing something from the past that no longer serve you. You could be releasing fear. You could be releasing some unconscious way of thinking that no longer works, where you are becoming, or where you're seeing yourself changing and evolving at that time. You could feel that you want to stay alone and spend more time by yourself. And it's okay, because this might be the way of you're releasing the old emotional triggers that no longer serve you. And you might need to feel more connected to yourself on a deeper level without the presence of other people around you. So if you are letting go of any emotional weight during this time that you have carried for years, be tender with yourself, because old ones could be surfacing, and it could be intense, it could be difficult, and you need healing during this time. So you could be releasing guilt, fear, old emotions, hidden stress that you have been carrying for a long time, and try to allow yourself to rest and reflect deeply during this time. And resting physically could help you release these emotions that are coming up during this full moon. It's the truth that you need to face, and the emotions could be intense. So tend to yourself and And I wish you a very happy full moon in Scorpio and all the best, Sagittarius Rising. For Capricorn Rising, it's happening in your 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of the networks that you are part of, the social circles, the friends, the long-term goals. And in this full moon in Scorpio, you could really see the people that you are aligned with or the people that you want to be with. You could see other people for who they really are if you haven't been seeing the true face. And you could see that not all connections are meant to evolve with you going forward. You might see that some connections you might need to let go, some connections you might need to filter from your life, and others you might need to get closer or make stronger bonds with. So you could feel disconnected from certain people, and you could also feel that you want to connect with other people. You could reevaluate your social roles. So what am I playing, which groups, and why? Is this really helping me? Is it helping me to evolve, or is it fulfilling for me at this point? You're letting go of the surface level relationships, whatever you have been carrying on just to maintain peace, or because you feel that you had some kind of responsibility towards these people. This is no longer working for you, and you could feel that you're seeking deeper connections, more meaningful connections, redefining your place in some groups, and feeling that filters with connections could come up during this full moon. So I wish you a very happy full moon in Scorpio and all the best, Capricorn Rising. For Aquarius Rising, it's happening in your 10th house, the house of career, of status, of public life. And it could bring some new direction in your life. You could feel emotional, triggered about your role, your work, your career, or what you do on a daily basis if you are retired or semi-retired. So you could question your path. You could question what you do. You could question or realize something needs to change in your work, in your career, in your daily activity and your status and how you're showing up. The external life might reflect some internal truth inside you that's coming up. Whatever is not working for you anymore might become very clear for you right now. So if you are doing a career reevaluation, if you are desiring more meaningful kind of work, you could see that you can let go of some of those roles that no longer work for you or fit you, and then you would shift into a different direction. So all the best, Aquarius Rising, and I wish you a very happy full moon in Scorpio. For Pisces Rising, it's happening in your 9th house. And your 9th house is the house of beliefs. It's the house of perspective. It's the house of travel, long distance travel. It's also the house of spirituality. So this could shift your whole perspective emotionally, meaning that you could question certain beliefs that you have been handed through family, through heritage, through social work, through whatever environment you have been part of. You could feel drawn to something new. You could experience a shift in meaning. Some stuff in your life have a different could have a different meaning right now. The deeper layer is that the world view is evolving. You are evolving of how you're seeing the outer world right now. And you're letting go of limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. And you're opening to new perspective, and you're reconnecting with your purpose. So this is a great time to reevaluate every single belief that you have carried on and shifting to a different perspective. So all the best, Pisces Rising, and I wish you a very happy full moon in Scorpio. So this full moon might feel intense, and it's not here to overwhelm you. I just want to remind you, it's here to show you the truth that has been hidden, or the truth that you didn't want to see before, but it's there for a reason. Because once you see it, you would have the power to release what no longer aligns with you. So instead of asking, why is this happening? Try to ask, what am I ready to let go of my life? And what am I ready to align with? Because this is where your freedom starts. So I wish you all a very happy full moon in Scorpio and all the best. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to help me grow in this channel. And thank you so much.